Hey guys, today I have a very exciting unboxing, which is the Legacy Collection Real Feel Carnotaurus, and I've wanted to get my hands on this figure for a long time, but a lot of the Legacy Collection figures have just not been released in the UK, but I finally have my hands on one, so I cannot wait to unbox this and show it to you. But first, looking at the box, I think it's really cool that we've got what seems to be the Fallen Kingdom scene with either Nublar exploding, the volcano going phew. You've got some of the original Jurassic Park Jeep Wrangler patterns on there, beautiful Jurassic World logo, and then on the back of the box you have the figure, demonstrating that if you push the button on the back, just like the two other Legacy collections I have, it will make a roar. So let's free this bad boy. And our super glorious Real Feel Carnotaurus is free from the box. And as with all of the Legacy collections, well, at least as far as I'm aware, this figure is rubber. The only thing that's taken me by surprise is the fact there's actually no jaw articulation. I kind of thought it would open and close, but there is no joint there. The colouring is absolutely gorgeous. I just love the red and black. Obviously it's very reminiscent of the Carnotaurus, but gosh, it just looks stunning. There is also the tab for you to scan on the Jurassic World app to add this dinosaur to your collection. So there is the code in case anybody wants to scan it. In terms of articulation, there's no jaw articulation. There is, oh, it's very difficult to tell with the very vestigial Carnotaurus arms. Yep, there is some arm articulation, both frontwards, backwards, and like to the side. And of course there is leg articulation, so you can get this dinosaur in a variety of positions and stances. But unlike my other two Legacy collections, which I will show you guys in a second as I compare it to the Carnotaurus, there is no slot on the belly to put figures in the mouth and get them out of. But I guess it's because this figure is slightly smaller than the Tyrannosaurus and the Indominus that I have. But in terms of detail, I really do love the colouring, and the mouth is beautifully painted, the inside and the outside of the mouth. The teeth, because they're just, I think a different type of plastic, they're not painted, they are just like cream rubber. They are perfect, no flaws on them. I really like the eye, the skull shape and the horns are just perfect. The osteoderms down the back are also very beautiful. But yeah, I think the colouring is my favourite thing on this figure. I don't really own that many Carnotaurus figures, even though it's one of my favourite dinosaurs, so what I can compare it to is my Hammond collection, Jurassic World, and you can see they're pretty much the same scale. They're very similarly sized. Obviously the Hammond collection is a bit more proportional. In some ways I think I prefer the head sculpt on this one more. I just love how like much bigger the horns are, they look great. But yeah, both of these Carnotaurus figures are very, very great in my opinion. I'm a big fan of the Hammond Carnotaurus. Okay, so that sounds like a variety of 3 noises, I think. A kind of roar, some snarls, a growl. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And now it's time for comparisons, and I want to compare the Carnotaurus to the first ever Legacy collection I got, which was the 2023 Red Rex, which is a replica to the original 1993 Canorex. And honestly, although the T-Rex is bigger, I feel like the scale isn't that different between them. I think the only thing I do feel a little bit like sad about on this figure is that there isn't jaw articulation, just because that would just be one fun detail. But I love the rubber feeling skin. It feels pretty sturdy. I do miss this though. I don't know, sometimes they're just sitting on my shelf, and if you can't close their jaws, they kind of just look permanently agape. But yeah, scale wise, you can see the Carnotaurus is actually not that much smaller than the T-Rex. It is a little oversized in terms of scale, but I really like how they look together. The red and the black and the red and the brown go really well together. Next up, I'm comparing the Carnotaurus to the most expensive figure in my collection. Not the figure that's worth the most, the figure that cost me the most, because they weren't selling this Indominus in England and I decided to have it shipped in from America, and the shipping fees and the scalpers, it was just extortionate. And again, I really like the kind of red colouring theme we've got going on. These two figures also look great together. Again, I really do like the jaw articulation. I do miss that on the Carnotaurus. but it is such a glorious figure. I'm very happy to have finally got my hands on it. In terms of scale, again, you can see the Carnotaurus is a little bit smaller, but really not that much smaller compared to the Indominus. Again, the scale is just a tad off. The Legacy, Indominus and T-Rex do both come with the belly slit, as I mentioned, so you can put figures in their mouths and then get them out of the stomach slit, which is kind of a reference to the rubber bull T-Rex by Kenner. I don't really miss that feature that much on the Carnotaurus, and because it is a slightly smaller figure, I think it would have been a bit more of a squeeze. I do miss the jaw articulation just a bit though. But in terms of rating this figure, I'd honestly give it a solid 9 out of 10. I'm just docking a point because I really love jaw articulation, but it's gorgeous. I mean, again, just look at how beautiful of a figure this is. It's the most beautiful figure in my collection, actually. And I really do like the rubber feel, and you kind of know you're not going to get much articulation with the Legacy collection figures. That's why you go for the Hammond line. So yeah, I do very much recommend this guy, and he's definitely going to be a welcome addition to my collection. Pretty please subscribe for more content, and if you want to follow my other socials, they are there. Have a great day, everybody.